Hi, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. Come on in.
Scissors and string. Soon it will.
Hi everybody, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. This is episode 90 something. It is February 9th to Monday, and it's weird, ucky, gray, makes you want to stay in bed, kind of cold weather. Tonight's episode, I hope to keep it under half hour. Since I've been recording about once a month, I think this episode is going to be a little bit bigger than what you guys may be used to coming out of me. So some things that we're going to go over, and I'm swinging from the hip here. The AF3 Charity Sock Yarn Club, I've got some update information on that I'm going to share. Lots of works in progress. Some finished objects. And I'm going to talk about this love-hate relationship I have with one of my knitwear pieces. And you guys might feel the same, but I felt it's been talked about a lot, I've noticed in some of the other podcasts lately, and I just wanted to share my thoughts, right? So here we go. So first of all, the AF3 Charity Sock Yarn Club, I'm happy to announce we have February's dyer lined up, and that is Cyborg's Craft Room. She had some really awesome stuff. I actually won a skein of her, I think it's Rainbow Unicorn Fight is the colorway. I'd have to grab it, but it's beautiful. I'd have to grab it out of the stash and look again. And I'm thinking, since I'm going to the Knitpocalypse again this year, I'm thinking of using that for their knit along, using that yarn so I can get credit for using a vendor's yarn. And I have to see what I can do with that. Probably a pair of socks, I'm thinking. I haven't had some socks on the needles in about a month since I gave up on a pair I was designing, and I have to go back and finish, but I just really have no motivation to do so. So, the other thing about the AF3 Charity Sock Yarn Club is I'm going to change the entry requirements. I know I said that we were going to have a lottery, and I changed my mind. So, here's the deal. The first 30 people that sign up for the club are in. Bing, bang, boom. Actually, the first 37 people who sign up for the club are kind of in. So the first 30 are in. Those last 7 slots, if I get up to 37 people that sign up, they'll be in. If I get more than 7 people, those last 7 slots will be lottery. So I'm changing it up. So if you've already signed up, you are in like Flynn. So, and I know some of you are folks that missed out on the last round of the Sock Yarn Club because it was a lottery. So hopefully you guys will like that. So, also I'm going to extend, because I'm doing it like first come, first serve, I'm going to extend the date for you to register for it. So I'm going to cut that off on the 1st of March because that's when I have to let the dyers know how many skeins to dye up for me. So you have till the 1st of March. If you're one of the first 30, you get in, and I only have like 11 right now. So you've got a great shot if you go and sign up right away. So after 30, I'll play it by ear. If I only have 37 people sign up, those 37 people get in. If I have 45 people sign up, the first 30 are in, and the last bunch, it'll be a lottery, random number generator lottery. Pull for, and you get to the 1st of March. I think I said that. So, to recap, there's no June shipment because I will be at Knitpocalypse and I won't be able to fulfill that commitment. So I decided to skip that month. I'm still looking for an August and a January. So if you are an indie dyer that would like to participate, by all means, I would love love, 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 love to get some love. Love is in the air. All right, so moving on, because I'm going to go quick. I'm going to go to finished objects next, which aren't really finished objects. Some of you may have seen these already if you follow me on Instagram. These are log cabin squares. So I wanted to learn how to do log cabin squares because I've seen a lot of people do the mitered squares or some of the other kind of squares for the blankets, and I have a ton of leftover sock yarn because I love fingering weight yarn. So I decided I was going to learn to try to do these log cabin squares and play around with it, and this is what I came up with. So this is my first one, and this is a small one. I started out with 5 stitches instead of 10, and I did 10 rows instead of 20. So this is a small, and this is done out of the Maryland Sheep and Wool 2013 colorway from Miss Babs. It's the pinks and the browns and the purples. So that is the first square. Now the next square I did, I have some ends here on the back, please forgive me, but I consider it finished because I'm just tying knots on these and just going to cut them off in the back. This is a big square, so this is a cast on of 10 stitches, 20 rows, just stockinette back and forth. So here you can see I've got the Miss Babs again. Let's see, right here, this other inner color here, this is Wicked Awesome Dragonfly from Daisy Knits, and you might be able to see there is a little sparkle to the yarn here. And then this outside is 716 Knits, and the Everybody Wants Dead Hamsters Until They Don't Know What to Do With Them or something like that is the colorway name. It has something to do with hamsters. This is the 716 Cash base out here. This is the one that I did my Rings of Love glove out of. So, let's see. I knit a scarf with the Miss Babs. I did gloves with the 716 knits. And for the Daisy knits, I used them to crochet a couple of pairs of fingerless mitts. So I did crochet. So that was really good. So that's my other finished object, so it's not really anything spectacular. It's not like I finished a sweater or one of the endless projects that I continually have on the needles. Alright, so getting on into works in progress. So I have been busy and kind of scattered. So I have this yarn that I spun up, and I spun it up with beads. It is called, it was Into the World, was the fiber, and it's merino silk, and it is called Double Rainbow. Now I'm holding up the light, this is probably horribly, but I'm blinding everyone. I wanted you guys to see the beads. So there's golden thread, you can see it hanging off the bottom there. So I have the golden thread that all the beads were pre-beaded onto, and I plied that with the 2-ply of the Into the World that I spun. So it's very Barber Poli with the mix of the colors. So I wanted to do like a cowl with this because A, it's super soft, B, it's super gorgeous and vibrant, and C, I had the beads in it and I thought that would look really cool. But I didn't think I had enough to do a project, so I had a couple missteps. I started first thinking color work, and I was going to mix it with, I have this like bulky, it's like a Knit Picks in just the plain cream, and it's one of the bears, and it's the merino. It's nice and soft, but I had like a full skein of this caked up for, I don't know where I got it from, I don't know when I got it, it was just in my stash. So I was kind of stash diving when I did this. So I was going to put these two together because I thought this was a nice light neutral, and these colors paired with this wherever it was would pop, right? So I cast on with this so I wouldn't have to be casting on with the beads on the cast on edge. And I did a few rows, and then I started this, and I just didn't like it. So I ripped it out, and then I started over where I started with the base of this again, then started doing a lace pattern with this called Kabuki lace. It's in one of my pattern books. You couldn't see the lace because this is like so bold. So I was thinking this is just too much by itself. So what I ended up doing, and I've been hearing a lot about holding yarn double lately, so that's what I decided to do. So please excuse my mess here. So this is my, I'm going to call it my Frou Frou cowl, because Silly Frou, she loves her. Wendy, she likes to have her rainbow colors. So I'm holding the cream with the hand spun held double. So I cast on, I don't know if you can see it, I cast on and knit 2 rows, then I purled 2 rows. Then I knit for 10 rows, and then I purled again for 2 rows. Kind of to keep it from curling a little bit, and I'm just going to keep on keeping on in that manner until I just run out of this yarn, or whichever one I run out of first, and I'll bind it off and call it a day. But I think once I take it off the needles, because these are size 11s, I think once I take it off the needles, yeah, I started off with like size 5 for this project in the first iteration. Then I went up to a size 8, and now I'm at a size 11. And I like how this is coming out. I'm pretty happy with this kind of marley kind of look to it. And then the beads pop out. There's some on the inside too, but I can push those through, but you can see the beads all through it. And it's just random scatter. So this has been fun. This is upstairs bedroom knitting for when I'm watching Scandal. Yeah, I have been sucked in so hard. I'm in season 3. I've been binge watching Scandal. So I'm into season 3 now. So that's pretty good. So I work on this upstairs in the bedroom while I'm watching Scandal, because the husband does not want to watch Scandal. So I do that one by myself. And then if you watch Jenna from Retro Lemon Studios podcast, Retro Lemon, she's working on her year in temperature scarf. And I was like, man, that is an awesome idea. I really like that idea. I need to do one too. So this one was also a couple of false starts of like what I was going to do pattern wise and everything. What I ended up doing was I ordered one of the Knit Picks palette like kits that they had, and they had the rainbow one, and that's the one I started with. So I have January finished. So this is the right side, and I took this stitch from Luxury One Skein Yarn Wonders, and it's from the cashmere collar. So it's knit and purl, but it doesn't curl because it's not, you slip stitches and stuff like that. It seems to be laying nice and flat without curling. And this is January for me. So what I do, let me pick one, is, this is a bad example. So what I've done is I've taken all of the palette and I reballed it up into center pull balls. And then I take the label and I wrap the last few wraps from the ball winder on the outside around the label with the temperature that it's marked. So it's semi-portable in that if I know what the high temperature is, I have like 8 skeins in my project bag here. This little sheepy one. And from Elizabeth Quinton. I don't know if she's still making bags or not. I don't know. But then I can keep a range. You know, I know basically it's going to be with the highs in the 40s and the 50s, maybe some in the 20s, maybe some in the 60s. So that gives me a good range. So each color is in a 5-degree increment. And as you can see, I'm going to have ends from hell. I got to figure out what to do about these ends, because it's not like I can magic knot, because I need to be able to precisely know where the changes are going to be. Otherwise, that would be the way to go. And I'm not doing it in the round, so I have a bit of a pattern that pops up in the back and in the front. So it looks good from both ways. It's kind of neat on both sides. But yeah, I'm going to have to figure out a way to weave in all these ends, because that's pretty crazy town. Pretty crazy town. So this is February. So January. So I started off with some cream just as the base. And then I think I did 3 rows or 6 rows, out and back 3. I went out and back 3 for down here, and then each day is an out and back 2 rows. And then this one I did 3 on. So I got to do, I'm a week behind, but it's not bad. It's not hard to catch up. So I work on it while I'm sitting there watching TV in the living room, because I've got a lot of yarn there. Okay, so what I've been working on in the train, I gotta pull this out of my backpack because I was just on the train, is my derecho, and that is by Laura Ayler. It's growing nicely, as you can see. So this is the top up here, and I'm knitting this out of Neighborhood Fiber Company, and I'm using her rustic fingering base, and I think the red is Cooper Circle, but the white or the cream and the dark gray charcoal color, they're one of a kind. She was playing with some techniques, so, but there we go. I'm working on this stripe over here. So I think what I have to do is I have to finish this stripe over here, and I have another stripe here, and then another stripe here, and then I have to do the border. So I think I have 2.5 stripes, or block section, rectangular sections left to go, stripey sections. So that is my derecho. And if you guys have been watching for a while, you know that we had a derecho here a couple years ago, and that I unfortunately had a tree, the top of a tree from the neighbor's yard, snap off and come through my studio window. Luckily, all of my stash was in plastic tote bins, so nothing got ruined or messed up or crushed or nastified and stuff like that. So, yay. But the derecho actually has, you know, some significant meaning, and it's kind of funny that I like the pattern so much, given what it did mean for the family. And that night, oh, I will never forget that night. The crash of the tree coming through the window coincided with the lights going off and a lot of lightning, and we all ran down to the basement as fast as possible because we for sure we were getting blown away. So the last project I want to show you is a new sweater. I have 2 other sweaters on the needles right now that I just can't seem to work on with any regularity. So of course what do is I pick up another one, and of course I'm in the middle of a row. I don't know what I was thinking. My husband fussed at me to go to bed last night. So here is the top. It's the Andante sweater. You can get the pattern from Knit Picks, and it's a raglan construction with a provisional cast on here at the top. So I'm doing my increases for the fronts and the arms and the back, and I'm in increase hell. I cannot stand doing these increases anymore, but I've got like 10 more to do before I can actually drop the sleeve stitches onto waste yarn and then start the body. But here it is. Funny enough, I'm not really enjoying the knit as much as I'd hoped. I mean, it's a fairly simple sweater, and I kind of like that because it's kind of mindless. But I'm using Cascade 220 Superwash, and I'm not loving the feel of the wool in my hands. So that's why it's kind of like, oh god, it's a slug. But I just feel like it's going too slow, and I don't know. But I have a ton of this, and when I ordered the yarn, I ordered the yarn as if I was going to knit the largest size, because I am a big girl, and I automatically envision that I'm going to need the largest size. When if you've never sewn before, or I guess if you've sewn, you know this already, but the patterns, if they say it's a 24-28 on the back of the pattern for size, that's not a commercial 24-28. A 24-28 on the back of a pattern, a sewing pattern, is more like a commercial 12 or 14. So I automatically, when I'm thinking patterns, if it's a pattern, I'm going to be larger than what it's actually calling for. So I kind of automatically just default to the largest size and buy that amount of yarn. Well, I got to thinking, based on another project I'm getting ready to show you, that maybe I just knit the wrong size. So I got out the tape measure, and I stood in front of the mirror, and I looked through some of like the Amy Herzog book, Fit to Flatter, or Knit to Flatter, and I looked online. Knitting Today had some tutorials online about how to properly measure to find out which pattern you should knit based on your bust size, because I guess the thinking is, on a woman, a bust is going to be the furthest body part out, you know, the largest circumference around is going to be the bust, right? So I measured, and come to find out, I was 2 sizes at least down from the finished bust size. So instead of knitting the largest size, I could have gone 2 sizes down. Well, I decided to go 1 more size down because it's not supposed to close in the front, it's supposed to be open. So I figured I like it a little bit more open than closed, so I went down even 1 more size. And I think, based on how the increases are going, it's looking pretty good. So the pattern calls for one of the Knit Picks yarns, but I got this on sale from Webs. It was a clearance, so it was either Blueberry Swirl or Cherry Pie were the 2 colorways that you could get. And it's just a little variegated blue. I've already used 1 skein, and I used a magic knot, and I have no idea where it is. So the magic knot is working, yay. So yeah, but I'm just not, I mean, I'm sure it'll be really nice once it's washed. It'll be nice and soft, because it almost has a squeaky acrylic feel to it, even though it's wool, if that makes sense. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about is this love-hate relationship that I have with a certain knit piece that I did. So you guys may remember this. This is my Rocky Coast cardigan. It's upside down. No, I have not woven in all of the ends. There's an end floating around here somewhere, right here. I just don't care, because I don't ever wear this sweater out because it looks horrible. It is awful. I knit the largest size because that's what I thought I needed to do. I used the Lion Brand Fisherman's Wool, which was completely the wrong kind of yarn, because it's very holey, and it's the raglan increases. You can see, I don't know if you can see right through them. So I love the back. The back is great. The front and the arms are horrible. And I did the extra little bit where you are supposed to give you a little bit more room, so I did the extra increases in the front, and that, first of all, I knit the wrong size sweater, and then I added the extra increases, so this thing looks horrible. god awful. But, however, it does serve its purpose. So our puppy girls, if you haven't noticed, I have puppies, treeing, walker, coonhound puppies. And they are about 8 months old now, and they have learned how to jump up on the bed, and our bed is very high. Sometimes I can't even get into it. So I kind of have to swing a leg up and roll up into it because it's so high off the ground. But the girls, they have learned how to jump up there by themselves without any help. And they'll do it, and they'll start playing, and fortunately they're puppies, and they have dirty little paws. So one night we had to wash the comforter, and we hadn't done the wash from before the last round of sheets, so we didn't have any comforters. So my husband pulls out his sleeping bag, and I'm forced to kind of fend for myself. So the sheet is fine, but we don't have any blankets or comforters to put on. So what I did is I wrapped myself up into this huge, look at how big, it's like a yard wide. My arms are outstretched, yes. So this huge sweater, the front of it is horrible. Wrapped myself in this, oh, and I did a really bad bind off, so the collar is all floppy and weird and wavy. Just kind of curled myself up into it, got under the sheet, and I was fine. I was fine. So I would say that I could knit a blanket out of this stuff here, and it would be perfect with the sheet. I could probably use that all year round and not have any issues. The only problem is this pills. So bad. I've got all these like horrible little booger things hanging off. It's horrible. I took a clothes shaver to some of it the other night, but look at it. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. Hate the way it looks. Hate the way it fits. Love the way it feels. So yeah, this is my love-hate relationship. And based on the experience of this sweater, I know some things that I'm going to different on this sweater, which is upside down. On this sweater. Because these are both raglan increases, so I kind of have a feel for it now. The other two sweaters I have on the needle are completely different and weird construction, and one's cotton, and I need to get on that for the spring. But I digress. I just wanted to talk a little bit. I know a lot of people have had issues with the fit of the Rocky Coast, but just because it doesn't fit well doesn't mean it doesn't have a purpose. So this is my lounging around the house on a Saturday morning without a shower, still in my pajamas, kind of thinking about breakfast and what to knit for the day kind of sweater. And I'm just kind of sitting there chilling. So I thought I would share. So I haven't shared in a while. So I've been watching a lot of new podcasts, new to me podcasts, some of the very well established ones that I just haven't gotten around to. So it's been fun. I've got a way of downloading them now onto the phone, and I decided to watch them on the train while I'm knitting. So it's like I watch the other podcasters out there and I knit, and it's like, oh, I've got my knitting buddies with me. It's really great. Like Christine, I was watching the her podcast, The Yarnings. Yeah, so I was knitting with her this afternoon on the train. It was a lot of fun. And Steve and Callie from Dramatic Knits, I knit with them. And I knit with, let's see, Amy and Megan, of course, the Stockinette Zombies. I've started knitting along with the Fat Squirrel. She is a trip. Love it. So, sometimes I feel like I'm so stuffy, not really relaxed. Very. So watching, Amy Beth, that seemed to, I can be as wacky and as goofy as I need or want to be. I don't have to be, and this is this, and it's such a needle size, and I have to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. I can play with it and have a little fun with it, and everybody loves her, and oh, I love Silly Fru, Sassy Pants Knitter, oh, from South Kakalaki. Love it, love it, love it. Glad she's doing much better. So yeah, I'm just having fun with it lately. So it is time for me to go. It's raining here, so my husband, he's in Banjo right now down the road at the Picker Supply, which is kind of like the country music, instrument lesson place. It's pretty cool, but he probably wants a ride, so I need to get going. I love you all. Thank you for joining me, and if you're new, I hope you enjoy and go back and watch some of the older episodes, and let me know what you think. I'm Pixie Knits, Pixeknits on Ravelry and Twitter, and then I'm Pixie91075 on Instagram, and that's about all I really do these days. Is my blog, and then Ravelry and Instagram. So if you want to say hi, please do. It would be great. So I hope you guys are enjoying the format of the show, since it's about once a month now and not as frequent as you may have been used to. But yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, I will talk to you no more than a month. So look for a new episode about the 1st of March. Okay? Alright, I'll talk to you guys later. Have fun. Bye. And sign up for AF3. You've got a slot if you sign up now. Alright? I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.